DIY Days came out of kind of a desire to share process, realizing that there was a whole new emerging creative class of creative people. I think at one point I've been approached to write a book about my experiences kind of making work and distributing that work, and the advance for the book was really bad. And so I thought, you know, it'd be really interesting to see if I just could release it for free and see what that would do. Could I beat the advance of the book? And so I ended up releasing the information, became the workbook project, and then that kind of led to, well, that's online, but now we need something in the real world. And so in like 2007 with M. Strange and Aaron Crumley, we created DIY Days. We live in a connected world now, so whether it's a mobile device or somebody in their living room or somebody online, I'm really interested in how story bridges in between those places, you know, modeling it more off the consumption habits in some ways of the actual audience, and then ways that I can actually make the content more social, because I feel like in that space, the more that my stories can be jumping off points to social interactions between people, the stronger the stories will be. And I'm also very interested in how they can add to those stories. So I think we're just in an early time now where it's very much like silent film, you know, so it's just like people are realizing like, oh wait, I can take the camera outside and I don't have to point it at the stage anymore. And so I think the language of it is evolving. And so I think some of the early experiments in it tend to be a little more kind of based on larger studio-based projects, or tend to be a little more niche-oriented in what they're doing, or certain genres. But I think it can be used for social change. I think it can be used for, you know, I would argue you could do it with a lot of different types of stories. The more you look and start to mine the themes of those stories, you'll find that there are ways that you can explore them that maybe you hadn't even considered before.
The D word has grown bit by bit, person by person. It's a kind of word of mouth phenomenon. We've never advertised for it. So, you know, what's great is that everybody who's a member is because they found it by somebody recommending it to them, or they went on the internet and searched around and found it. So we're up to almost 9,000 registered members from over 90 countries. And we actually have big plans for it this year. This is going to be a pretty big transition year, I think. So, and we have Peter Broderick coming on Monday. Did you know that? Yeah. I think for all films, it's just become really, really hard because, you know, I think there's so many choices for your entertainment dollar these days, and you know, with Facebook and with tweeting and all that good stuff, you know, it's particularly hard to get young people out to your film, and particularly to spend $10, $11, $12, $13 for a documentary in a theater. A lot of theatrical now is just kind of promotion for your broadcast and your DVD. It's hard work. I'm telling you, it is just hard work. The other films were hard. A lot of outreach. Outreach is endless. It's like twice as much work as making the films, and making the films was a lot of work. But the difference is, this work continues from, you know, until you go to bed at night, and then you still haven't answered 500 emails that you were hoping to. So it's just a lot of work with, you know, I guess a karmic payoff, but not a, you know, a economic payoff.
Branding is a big word. I do branded entertainment, or work with brands that are looking to get into content and have their brands integrated into content, not branded, not wrapped around the content in any way. So is there money in it? Yes, the most thing is like ideal from development, and I think that way there could be money in it. If the ethos of the brand is matched with the content, brands are right now looking for ways to reach audiences that they are losing rapidly. And that's because people are learning how to click through and click away from advertising. So for brands, it's very, if you can match them with the right content producer, the right content that's matching and meeting their audiences that they're trying to, or their consumers that they're trying to get, they are willing to pay for that.